Okay. All righty. Good evening, everyone. This is Ron. Monday, December 29th, 6:03 p.m. Let's get started, see if we have any questions. We talked about several things yesterday, but we ended up talking about the seven principles of Kwanzaa. Ngunzo Asaba. I've been waiting all day to say that, so I hope I got
Guza
it.
Saba.
Huh?
Guza Saba.
Guza Saba. The N is silent. Right? That what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Guzo Saba. Well, that's where we ended yesterday, guys, talking about those principles. Any questions at all? Thank you, Pastor.
Uh-huh.
Any questions or comments about that? Or anybody have any insight that you'd like to share with us? Okay. All right then. Uh there is something I wanna I- sometimes I don't know if I'm saying something that's doesn't make sense or not, but I want to say it anyway and let you guys decide. I want to talk about or mention something that I have termed uh, assertive spirituality, and that is recognizing who we are and the recognizing that this journey has taken us to a position and uh, to say and do things and have authority over things that religion does not allow you to have. For example, I was mentioning to Pastor, something hit me the other day about taking another look at in the beginning, what the beginning means. And I saw a couple of things in beginning. For one, it is perpetual. It's an ongoing thing. And the other thing is of course, as we already know, does not mean what we think it means. We're always at the beginning, or we're always at a place of recreation and setting things straight. And that is not a coincidence. It is not a maybe. So when we see things going on in the world, uh, the assertiveness is this is being done for your benefit. This is the catalyst so that you can see who you are and move in that direction. So instead of saying, oh, I think we should do this or I believe this, being uh, seeing righteousness or being righteousness, you make the decision on what that thing's supposed to be. So all the stuff that is happening, the political stuff, all the stuff in Africa, we have the right to decide what all that stuff is and look at it from the perspective that you have the right to reestablish beginnings in the earth. And again, I hope that's not rambling and I hope that's clear as to what I'm saying. Because I don't think we know who we are yet. And that's just something that kind of hit me. No questions, comments? Do you agree with that? Disagree? Do you understand what I'm trying to say anyway?
Um, in order to live in the now, begin, it has to be something different. And in order to maintain an attitude or attitude and to establish an unconscious oneness with beginning at all times. We have to understand that or know that believing is I'm not believing, I'm sorry, beginning. Did I say believing before? Because I meant beginning. That
Okay.
beginning
No.
is continuous. Go ahead.
Yes.
Um, when it says uh, in the beginning, the original text does not say in. The original text says beginning created. So, in order for beginning to create Elohim, then beginning has to have no beginning and no end, which means that the concept of beginning was brought into existence in order to create a physical environment that is governed by a spiritual being, a spiritual world that never ends. So, what I'm saying in essence is that just as this celestial ball called Earth had to be created, so did beginning. If beginning had not been created, then there would be no way for us to have something called time. Because time never existed before beginning birth a natural, a physical world. And the reason that the objects in the sky that we call planets, and the sun, the reason that they had to be created for us is because we had to create time. And if we had not created time, we would not have these physical bodies, or we would not have to have the ability to govern these physical bodies. Well, you say, but there was a time oxymoron when there wasn't time, but that's not true. We were not aware of time until the Babylonians in southeastern Africa created time by virtue of measuring the circumference of the earth and observing the sun so that it could monitor or to manage an understanding of seasons, as well as it could create distance between objects. So I hope I'm not rambling. I hope it makes sense. So here we are, seeing that we live in a spiritual bubble, for lack of another word, that is called beginning. And it was created for us so we could create. Does that make sense?
It does. It does indeed.
Are there any questions or comments, Audrey?
I'm a little confused by that. Could you elaborate a little more?
Sure. What I'm saying in essence is this: the scripture says that beginning created Elohim. Elohim is spiritual. So beginning brought into existence spirituality within the confines of beginning. And from Elohim, came the physical world. And the physical world consisted of the elements in the universe, or the planets in the universe and the sun. And it is because of the planets and the sun that we are able, and the moon, that we're able to monitor or create time. So when physical deities were brought into existence by Elohim, those physical deities were able to create something called time by measuring the distance of the earth, by measuring the distance between two objects, by observing the rotation, the position of the sun and the moon as the earth rotated. So this, everything that is, had its beginning in beginning. And because we are spiritual beings, just like all the things that I said earlier about spirituality, spiritual creation, all of that happened at once. And in order for these deities to function as deities and creators in this physical world, from these physical bodies, time had to be created. But the creation of time did not eliminate the reality that we live in a bubble called beginning. Does that make sense?
Okay, I guess I'm not understanding what the purpose of time is.
The purpose of time is to measure between two distances. If there is no time, for example,
how does that relate to spirituality and I mean, I can see how it relates to creation.
If it were not for time, we would not be doing what we are doing now. Time gives these physical deities the opportunity to create and to not only create, but also to fulfill its purpose in the earth. If we were living in a spiritual realm without the essence of time, then everything would be happening at one time. We have time broken up into days, and days are broken up into hours, and hours into the sequence of that. So when that happened, the Babylonians understood what time was. That's why it created it. And it was able to measure between the distance between 2 days. Between two objects. And days were broken up in the beginning of time in 12-hour intervals. The daylight consisting of 12 and the night consisting of 12. And you say, well, what's the purpose of it now? The purpose of it now is for us to be able to function in this world based on time. And let me give you an example. Before time was synchronized, it could be 1:00 a.m. in South Carolina, and it could be at the same time, it could be 2:30 at someplace else. But when trains were invented, time had to be synchronized. So the Europeans in this country took the understanding of time from the East and they synchronized it based upon the earth position, the earth and the sun's position at a given period during the day or the night. And that is the reason we are able to know it's 3 o'clock in California and 1 o'clock here. And that is the synchronicity of time. And we are the ones, we meaning physical beings, broke up this space in chunks of time for us to be able to synchronize our movements in this earth in a physical way and be where we were supposed to be or desired to be at the time that we said we were going to be there. If somebody can help me, I appreciate it. So that's the purpose of time. If we didn't have time, we would be on now. If it were not for time, we would not be on Zoom at the same time at 6 o'clock. Because who would know at 6 o'clock if we had not brought into existence this thing called time?
So time is the opportunity to experience physicality and then get to know ourselves.
Yes. That's the ultimate purpose of time. Is that clear? Yeah. You're muted. You're muted, Audrey.
I don't know if she hears you.
Can you hear me? Oh, she doesn't. You hear me? No.
Me? Yes.
You do. I said, is that clear? Or does it help?
It helps. I'm still processing.
Okay. All right. Somebody can help me clear it, make it clear, or see something different. Please help me. Help.
I mean, I see what you're saying about if there were no time, then because of beginning, everything would be happening all at once.
Yes.
But what would be, I mean, isn't everything happening all at once anyway? Because we said present, past, and future are happening at the same time.
What I mean by the space between things happening, what happened yesterday is not happening today. I'm saying that even though in the spiritual realm, everything is in the now, but in this physical realm, it is not. Physicality, this coaster has to be moved before this could sit in the place of that coaster. All of it can't sit in the same space at the same time.
Okay, so time was created for physicality.
Yes.
That for us to understand physicality.
Yes, it helped bring order to the world. Everything in the world that pertains to physicality had its genesis in beginning. And after we were brought into existence in physical bodies, everything else that happened in this earth was created by the children of Akebalon. Time, seasons, objects, physical objects that help us to survive in this physical climate. The naming of the different plants. That is the reason that from the beginning, Archebelonians knew what plants were good to help sustain the physical body, as well as those things that would or could destroy the human body. How to navigate the waterways, all of that was based on navigating our physical being able to navigate this physical environment.
Okay, I see that. Is that connected to sacred geometry?
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Because it takes time to go from point A to point B.
Yes. And that's what I was saying. From one to, yes, between objects to travel from point A to point B. Everything is connected to sacred geometry. You're absolutely right.
This is Vermel. Could you explain what sacred geography is?
Yes, when we talk about sacred geography, we are talking about the reality that everything that came into existence is based on numbers, is based on mathematics. And the mathematics, the physical existence of mathematics are represented by the angles, the numbers, the measurements. All of the math was brought into existence from sacred geometry. Why is it called sacred? Because it is set in this space for an express reason by a deity, so that we will have opportunity or the ability to not only build structures, but also to be able to travel by foot a distance. So that's the best so far I can get with that. I know there's more to it, and I'm trying to remember all of it. Of the what I understood about sacred geometry in the beginning. If someone else can help with that, I'd appreciate it.
Well, I kind of see it because time is related to the arc of a circle, which is also related to the angle. It's kind of complicated, but anyway, so it is all interconnected.
Yes.
I see that. I mean, because like a degree is equal to so many minutes or whatever. I don't even know what it is, but I know it is. And yeah, and our relationship, everything is related to, yeah, angles and degrees and all of that. All the positions, your position to everything is based on geometry. So
Uh,
so it kind of works even like when you experience like deja vu, it's related to where you are in your position on a certain day at a certain time. So all of that stuff is just all interconnected. But sacred geometry is the connectedness of things based on angles and arcs and all of that.
for example, a room, Western architecture is based on right angles. Homes are based on right angles for the most part. Eastern homes were based on circles. And the reason that homes in the East were based on arcs is because of the way the air flows in a home and how it brings in fresh air. Also, the homes being built at like an arc or a circle is designed that way because the ancestral spirits move in that manner. When the Eastern people, Western start building homes based on right angles, then the natives in this country, as well as other nations, indigenous people, were like they believed that air got trapped in the corners, and spirits who had movement within the confines of that building got stuck in corners. And that sounds far fetched. However, if you look at the homes that indigenous people built from the beginning, all of them were round. And they were round for that purpose. Even
Yeah,
today,
it had to do with movement of energies.
yeah,
Like in Africa, most traditional homes are round and they have a conical roof like this.
yes,
Because of energies, collecting energies and letting energies move freely and not get trapped.
yes. It's a lot easier to experience the presence of energy when it has movement. That's why you read from Chronicles about the Eastern beliefs. You find things like swirling energy. The round structures have energy that swirls in it as opposed to getting trapped in corners. And it breaks the pattern of flow for the energy that's in that structure. For Meryl, I hope that helps, hon.
It does. It makes me think about a lot of things. I'm sure there's more to it, and we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah,
But yes, thank you.
thank you. And you said the right thing, making you think. That's what we wanted to do. Process. Because
So
go ahead.
this sacred energy is all in my mind, in my thinking. That's what allowed the Sphinx to be built in different architectures that we wonder or we're amazed by.
That's what the energy is what allowed not only the Sphinx
Hmm.
but everything to be built, especially the pyramids.
Okay.
There are more pyramids in North and South America than there are in Kemet.
Okay. So can I ask a question then?
Yeah.
I was going through Alabama and I don't know why it hit me. All of the churches had, and I guess I was in a Catholic area because I was in Mobile, but all of the churches had a pinnacle, cross pinnacle, even though their religion, they understood is 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 the idea behind their pinnacle to capture or harness energy?
Yes, the spires on all churches they were not put there for religious reasons. Now
Okay.
people think they are, but the
Hmm.
ones in the beginning were put there to redirect energy. But churches now just put them on there as a religious symbol.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
that was not so in the beginning.
Thank you.
Hmm.
I have a question to ask.
Sure.
When we're in sleeping in the dream state, are we or our conscious, are we in time? The reason why I ask is because there have been times where maybe they had that experience where they couldn't go to sleep. When they finally went to sleep and they closed their eyes, it's like bam, the alarm clock went off. Or they're in a dream and it felt like the dream was the whole night, but it was actually, well, it felt shorter, but the dream, but it was you were there during that whole time. So I'm just wondering, is time even associated with that when you're dreaming?
No,
Over.
ma'am. Dreams are outside of time. Time does not bound. Dreams are not bound by time at all.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. That's why you can have 10 different things happen at the same time. And you know all of it happen at the same time. But when you wake up, it takes time for you to tell somebody about the dream. Try writing one down that you feel like lasts 10 minutes. See how long it takes you to write
That's punishment.
it. Okay. Any questions?
Another example of a sacred geometry is that you know that drawing by Leonardo da Vinci of the man with his arms outstretched.
Uh-huh.
He's inscribed in a circle and a square, and there's also a rectangle, and that's sacred geometry. The symmetry of man is sacred geometry.
Got it.
It's the language of
Anyway,
creation.
take a look at that if you haven't ever seen it before.
Mhm.
What you say, Janice?
I said it's the language of creation,
Yes.
down to our DNA molecules, how
Right.
they divide, the ratios that they're in. You can look at your finger and the nail, the individual digits, how they each get slightly longer. Like you can divide those and find ratios that are the same across nature.
Right.
And it's all down to the geometry that we're talking about and how you can divide things within certain proportions like that. Math is everywhere. It's the building blocks of who we are, literally.
Absolutely.
I'd say it's spirituality made manifest in a sense.
Okay. Where were you a few minutes ago?
My phone was across the room and I couldn't unmute in time.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm just messing with you.
You right on time.
Are there any other questions about that or anything else?
Good evening. Just wanted to add one additional thing to what you and Ron have said about beginning, all possible meaning possibilities were created. In other words, everything possible was created at that period of time, which means that our lives can go into different, based on the choices that we make, our lives can take different turns, but all of those potential meaning possibilities were created in beginning. And so to me, that's another way that beginning does not end. It's a continual process.
Right.
If that resonates. All meaning possibilities are created in beginning. And so there are so many different options for us as we navigate this physical dimension.
Agreed. Understanding that also is what Myra asked. We are more, beginning is more active with us when we are asleep than it is when we are awake, because of the dream state that we are in.
It also has something to do with in a state of sleep, we're not getting in the way.
Yeah.
We're not thinking, we're not trying to fix everything.
And I guess men supposed to live in the dream state because they try to fix everything.
Okay, I sort of get it now. Time is there for us to make sense of things. Um, whereas when we're in the dream state and there's no time, everything does happen at once, and it's hard to even figure out what you dreamed and what it was all about.
Right.
So time in physicality is there to help us um, relate to things consciously. Yes?
Yes. Yes. Um, that's why when when we when Ron said that we need to change or be cautious about how we speak, um, one of the main reasons is because the words that we use also create a picture in the minds of people who are listening at us. Because when we talk about something having been invented, we're talking about a person who picked up these pieces that did not that were made by men and put them together, and that is an invention. When in essence, it is not. It is taking this iron or taking these metals and shaping them in a certain way and putting them together to create something. So you're using what is created in order to create some from that creation. When we talked about the smelting of iron in Jamaica and how the British took the iron smelting um, mechanism, that iron smelting, they did not, the iron was created in the beginning, as Barbara said, those elements. They were created for the purpose of using them to create by mankind for mankind's purposes. And when we say it was invented, it takes the spirituality out of it. But when we say it was created, it maintains that connection that we have with our thoughts to what was in the beginning, because that's where it came from. And should not be any coincidence, or it is not an accident that what was invented, or what was created rather, the things that we use, the appliances, etc., were created by people from Babylon. Just as simple.
I guess when I kind of saw what I saw, uh, my mind did not go to sacred geometry, and I appreciate that because that adds so much more to it. Uh, because the numbers, it is the geometry, the numbers that makes it infinite. That it can't be captured. It's ongoing. So you're able to reach your desires for mankind, and your ability through your meditation is able to put you in that mindset as well, to be a creator. And it is infinite versus being in a world of religion or intellect where you have limitations. So when I say who we are is a very unique place, and it is not shared by a lot of people because of our desires to be here, it is no coincidence that we gather every week. And the only thing is to recognize who we are and why you have these meditations and dreamlike states, and see what they show you and what you want these to be, because you understand beginning more than most people do. And there is beginnings are, to me, opportunities. So a lot of what we feel, see in the earth does not render any of us powerless or or confusing or should make us angry all the time. It's an opportunity to see and do something. Uh, Pastor talked to me the other day about somebody, well, may have been France or Italy, I don't know, sending Nigeria planes. Why are they sending them planes? Uh, what do they want them to do with it? Well, at first, uh, I saw, I got a little emotional about that, but it again, nothing done can be done in the earth that we don't allow. And at this point, to take that to another place, uh, we have opportunity to do things, I think, that have not been done before or not seen. What those things are, I don't know. But I think as we recognize who we are and embrace it, uh, we are the change.
Something
And
came to
I
mind
hope
while
I'm
you were
not
talking.
Sir?
I said something came to mind while you were talking.
Okay.
My mind went back to when you were talking about changing the way we speak. Um, when you feel it was something we were talking about, and I said, "Oh, I know what it is. The wind blowing. Remember?
Yes.
I um, I said to Ron, I think the wind is blowing the way it is because it's a message to us, and I think that what is happening is what the chaos is being blown away. But it's a message to us. The wind is a physical message to us telling us the chaos is being blown away. And Ron says to me, you need to change, we need to change how we speak because it should be we know that it's blowing away as opposed to what we think. And when that came to me just now, knowing, now this does not say that I know I'm gonna get a car tomorrow and it's gonna show up tomorrow. That's not what I'm talking about. When I said that, I felt that deep in my soul. I had that experience that that's what was happening. And that's what I saw. That was the sign of the time that I was shown. And we say it, I think, or suppose, because we are not comfortable with saying, I know, just in case it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Yes.
Yes.
We are uncomfortable with that. However, the election of Trump rather than Kamala is an example of that. We said it and we felt uncomfortable because it didn't happen. And we were trying to understand it until Kathy made the statement she did, and we, in a whole new understanding, opened up to us. And that understanding opened up was what? That it had to happen this way. The bottom line was it had to happen this way because the female showed them what could be, and Trump showed them what is. And now that chaos coming from that is being moved out of this space where righteousness belongs. And the more we speak about what we know, when we experience it in the depths of our we will begin to see the manifestation of things that we never dreamed we would see. And with that manifestation coming sometimes in the twinkling of an eye and sometimes in a day or so, but coming, being manifested. Does that make sense?
We lost you for a moment.
Yeah.
So
I got
could
to
you
start
repeat it?
again.
Well, I lost you for a moment.
Use
So
it.
did I. I lost you for a little bit too.
We
Are you
did.
hearing me? Yeah, I lost you for a little bit too.
Where did you lose me? Hard to say, huh?
Yeah. The last couple of things you said, will you just repeat those if you will? I can't.
That the
You said when thing in the moment of a twinkling of an eye.
oh, okay. Thank you. Always got somebody right in place at the right time. What I was saying about that when we speak with the confidence, because we are experiencing it in our soul, then they will be manifested sometimes in the twinkling of an eye, and sometimes it takes longer. But it cannot be willy-nilly. In other words, you can't speak that from your mind. It has to be from the depths of your soul. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
So when we have that experience, just say it. And let me share something else about that. When we have that experience, if we don't say it, it prolongs this balance that we desire to manifest.
Yes.
It prolongs it. The other thing about that is there are going to be times you're going to struggle with your words, trying to put it, trying to say it the right way, trying to use the right vernacular in order to express it. It's okay if you have a struggle with it because we are learning. And none of us were taught to speak that way. But the ability to do it has always been with us. It's the European mindset that causes us to falter. Because if we say something is going to happen and it doesn't happen, all of a sudden we take it personal. There's somebody going to ridicule us because it didn't happen. We have to get beyond that. And you are going to miss it. The reason you are is because you're going to have to learn to differentiate between what your mind is saying and your soul. And that is not an easy task all the time. But it is something that you are very much aware of because you have experiences when you hear something in your soul as opposed to thinking something in your mind.
Yeah.
You have those experiences. And we have been taught to see it as a coincidence. I thought that yesterday, or what we really say is, you know what, I felt that, but I didn't say it.
Yeah.
that we must teach ourselves to speak in those terms, spiritual terms. And
Um,
I believe from the depth of my soul that if that is your desire, you're going to do it. I know that the right words in the right order brings about change, brings about manifestation. That is the reason African spiritual speech was labeled as something evil because the Europeans could not understand it. How did that happen? So they called it magic of the devil. And we must cleanse ourselves of that belief. Voodoo is spiritual. Christianity is not spiritual. It's manipulative. It is not spirituality at all. And the funny thing about it is this. You pray all the time in Christianity, and you go pray every single week for the same thing and never see it. Yet, we can talk about what we have experienced in the depths of our soul and say that this is what's going to happen. This is what we are going to experience, and it happens. Yet, we revert back to prayer as opposed to the reality of who we are as Elohim. I never shall forget that Audrey asked the question when we first started talking about we know who we are as Elohim. Who do we pray to? That's the, and that was a dilemma for more than her, because there were people who called me with that same question. When we speak something, we don't have to pray to anyone, because prayer has never been directed towards something outside of you. The word prayer is a European word. The words that we use is meditation. Our meditation is not for us to solicit something from something outside of us. Meditation is not to get you anything. Meditation is to settle you down and remove your mindset of this world around you so that you are open to everything. And when you are open to everything, the ancestors who live in the now all the time are able to share with you what you need at that moment. Is not asking for a car or asking for a job. The meditation is about settling you down so you can receive simply because you have honestly, sincerely acknowledged the presence of the ancestors and the roles that they play in our lives to keep us on the right track and to keep us in a space where we are able to survive. That is so different than what we have been taught prayer is. It's different from what we have been taught meditation is. Nothing happens when you meditate if you don't be still. Be still and know what? Be still and know that I am God. What does that mean? Stop searching. Stop using the terms of religion to talk to someone outside of you. If you were created by Elohim, by a God, and you are the image of that God, you are in this physical world, and the reason you have to meditate is because this physical world is a distraction that is with you all the time. However, when your mind is clear, when your mind allows things to flow through it as opposed to trying not to think about it, you will find yourself in a settled place. And then a few days later, you will be talking about things that you never heard, or you will have the response to what you were searching for within yourself. There are instances when you admit to yourself that you have a struggle to quieten the noise within. And your desires are to be guided by the ancestors in your everyday life. And you acknowledge that. Or you may pour out libations honoring them. However it happens, it happens. And then, since you cannot quieten the noise within, when you go to sleep, that noise is quiet. And you have a vision/dream. And that is the response to what you need. Does that make sense? There is no way that you can desire from the ancestors, acknowledging them with respect and honor, and not get a response for what you need. 331? Would you mute? Thank you. Does that make sense? Any questions about that? Vermeer?
No, I don't have a question about it. Not yet.
Anyone else have a question or comment?
I just have a comment about when you said the be still and know, I felt that really deeply.
Yeah.
But the part I really felt was the I am.
Yes.
I am
Yeah.
God.
Know who
So
that's it. I feel it. I do. Even
Yeah.
when you said it, I felt it even deeper.
I tell you another way you feel it, at least I do, and I think you guys do too. When we hear something happen to Burkina Faso, or something that we've grown to love and to see in our hearts, we feel not responsible for it, but we feel a responsibility for it, feel the love and compassion. And that to me says that I don't think we are an umbrella. We are the umbrella.
Yeah.
And that is the assertiveness I'm talking about, to recognize that Ron, stop fighting with Ron. Stop fighting with yourself and recognize your spirituality. I am, as Audrey just said. And when I see or hear of these things, they come about so that I can recognize who I am. and be in position at all times uh, to I was going to say to respond, but if you are an umbrella, if you are a protector, it's like a mom. You never stop being a mom. So you don't have to respond being a mom because you're always a mom.
Yeah.
That is who we are.
And even if we don't know, we are still that umbrella, that shield.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask something. Go ahead. I'm not going to forget it.
Okay. I just want to add another perspective since we're talking about what we're really talking about is being authentically who we are. That's what Ron brought up when he talked about. I think he's assertive spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
Assertive spirituality is not beating around the bush, but knowing and understanding and being.
Yes.
One of the things that I believe that we need to begin to do is not say, does that make sense anymore? We need to understand that it is a vibration and a resonance, because I heard words, I felt it, I knew it. And so when we use the words, does that make sense? It opens up to start to try to process it with our intellect.
Yeah.
And the vibration and the resonance goes beyond the processing of reasoning. So one of the things that I am going to do is, and please correct me if I don't do it, which is fine. I'm going to use words like, does that resonate?
Yeah.
Does
Yeah.
does that vibrate? Do you feel that? Do you feel that? In other words, I don't want you to think it. I don't want you to process it. I want you to just be it, feel it. Does that resonate?
Yes. I
Yes.
have an experience of it. And guess what, Barbara Jean? What I was about to say is, I'm asking you to check each other when we speak outside of spiritual language. And an example of it was what Barbara said, because I'm good about it. I'm often saying that. Does that make sense? And I really, really want you to check me. I trust you to check me with anything that I say. Because I and none of us are going to always speak the way that we intend to. And especially those of us who are teachers, you can't be offended when someone when someone check you like Barbara Jean. We won't check each other the way Barbara Jean checked me in Philadelphia. Like, we're gonna do it differently.
Anyway.
But really, we need to do that because, be honest with you, when it comes to spirituality, those who teach are responsible to and responsible for each other because we are one unit. We're responsible to each other to help us clarify things. We're responsible for each other to make sure that if we are dealing with something, you are open for us to come to you no matter what it is. And whatever we say in terms of our teaching, we got to make sure that we are saying it correctly. Does that make, oh, there I go. I almost said it, Barbara Jean. Does that resonate?
It resonates.
Anyway, are there any other questions or comments?
Yes, sir. I felt it deeply as well when you said be still and know. And before you finished the sentence, I swear I had a memory. And in my mind, I heard, know that you are God. And when I say it as memory, because I felt like that was how it was supposed to be written, or that's what I remembered. And then you said the rest of it, and know that I am God. And I was like, oh yeah, that's how that goes. And then everyone else kind of chimed in. So I don't know. I think that was an interesting bit of resonance, something.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, okay. There was something I wanted to read that I found yesterday when we were discussing the Nguvu Saba. And Pastor, will you pronounce creativity for me?
Creativity. Ujama?
Kuumba.
Spell it.
Kuumba.
UMBA.
Say it again. Kuumba. It's after Nia for creativity. I don't, or the Rouge Top. I don't know. Anyway,
I can pronounce the word.
Thank you.
What was it?
Kuumba. Creativity. I read something about creative restoration that I wanted to share. It says, nowhere is this principle more clearly expressed than in the literature and culture of ancient Egypt. Creativity here is both an original act or imitation of the creator, and a restorative act, also reflective of the creator, constantly pushing back the currents of chaos and decay, revitalizing and restoring the natural, spiritual, and cosmic energy of the world. In ancient Egypt, there was a spiritual and ethical commitment, an obligation to constantly renew and restore the great works, the legacy of the ancestors, and the creative energy of the leader and nation. This was considered doing mat, reaffirming and restoring truth, justice, propriety, harmony, balance, reciprocity, and order. And let me see if there was something else that I wanted to read out of this.
Love that.
Right. That was distilled into the principle and practice of Kuumba, to always do as much as we can in the way we can in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited it. But I read that, and it again resonated really deeply, because that's part of the work that we do, and we do it in concert with the ancestors. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Do you hear how many times she used refresh, renew, restore?
Yeah.
Beginning. So thank you. I love that.
I do. That's what God does.
Yes.
Refresh, renew, rejuvenate.
Yes, sir. I'll share that in the teacher's list, and with anyone else who wants a link to that site. It's the official KwanzaaWebsite.org. Has some interesting writings on the different principles.
Thank you. Yes.
Is that Ron Karanga's site?
I don't know. He's definitely mentioned in a lot of the writings.
Because I know
I feel like the principles are expanded really well.
Okay. He does have his own site. Okay.
Yeah.
I do know that we have established the principles of Nguvu Saba. Why was it so important for us to establish these principles at this time, for as long as we have been speaking? about Mayotte. We are in the diaspora, and this Ngusa Saba speaks to us in this portion of the diaspora. And when we were talking about it, we were doing more than talking about it. We were doing more than putting it in the macro. We were laying the bricks. We were laying the foundation for our experiences in the year to come. The experience of unification, the experience of trusting who we are, trusting each other. The unification of respect for each other. It does not matter how much you respect the people around you who are well with you. What matters is, are you able to respect everyone without regard to who they are, what they say to you or do to you? A mother, and Ron used this a lot, the relationship of a mother and her children. Regardless of what the child does, a mother will say, that is still my child. Regardless of what happens with the people we created, the humans that we created, they are still our children. We birthed them. And this coming year, the unicity, this experience of the unicity between people of color expressing the highest respect for the children of a Kabbalah is going to be experienced like never before. It's no coincidence that the Asians, the Hispanics, people, period, are calling to us to deliver them, which means that they are open to receive from us. The Hispanics had to be treated the way they are being treated, and they have not learned yet. You have made every effort to cut the umbilical cord between you and your Creator. And you must pay a price for that, not to destroy you, but to bring you to a place where you come to your senses and realize that the life that you are searching for is in your God. That goes for the Asians as well. And a case of that is the Somalis. It didn't take long for the ancestors to say to the Somalis, you must learn. Look how quick evil came to their doorstep. Look how quick that they were taught or reminded of who they are. And quickly they began to cry out for the assistance of those of us who are in America to help them. Why did they do that? Because none of them would be here if it were not for us and the battles that we fought. None of them would be here. We laid the foundation for them to be here. Our responsibility is to make sure that they're reminded of who they are. And however that happens, it doesn't matter. The foundational principles of the Nguzo Saba are the foundation that we will build on in the coming year like never before. And people of color are going to come together. Now, I want you to hear me clearly. People of color are going to begin to come together because people of a Kabbalah are calling all people together so that we can break the European mindset. Africans or Kabbalonians, we are not people of color. We are Africans. We are Kabbalonians. We are black. We are melanin. We are the pattern of all of humanity. Everything came out of us. Every color came out of black. Black is not a color. Black is a womb that's pregnant constantly to birth everything that is needed for humanity to regain its sanity. That is one of the major reasons, among others, that an understanding of the Nguzo Saba and Pan-Africanism had to be discussed in the last few days. Does that resonate?
It does, very much so.
Yes.
And as the Kabbalah goes, so does the world begin to go spiritually. So when we see the shifts and the turnarounds on the continent, it has to happen because we were talking about refreshing, rebirth. What are those reads you talked about, Ron? All of that, restoring, all of that has to happen. And when it happens, it puts things in a right relationship again. The order is there, the justice is there, the equity, the balance and harmony. That's the balance that has to occur. And that is why there's so much going on, as we've been talking about Kabbalah, because things are righting themselves again. And when that occurs, as it is occurring, people are accessing spiritual principles. And as you said, that's why the necessity for talking about the principles of Maya and the principles of Kwanzaa. That's why it's necessary, because these are part of writing.
Yes.
RIGHTING, RIGHTING, not WRIT. The other writing. That's a part of making things right, putting them back in order, putting them back in their appropriate place, putting them back where they were purposed to be originally. So that is why it's so important when you say, Ron, that I feel what's going on the continent, in the Kabbalah. I feel that's the resonance that's tuning itself, and we're all coming into alignment and into attunement with that resonance. And so it's such an unstoppable energy. It's such a powerful energy that I feel when we talk about that. But it has to occur, and that as that is occurring, we will see people having more access and expressing their spirituality, not their religiosity, not their Christianity, but their spirituality.
I say,
Ashe.
Beautiful. Yes.
Yeah,
Shay.
to add to that, I see it too as a reclaiming
Yeah.
of some of the things that have been lost. Um, well, some of the things that have been disremembered, if that's a word.
There's now. Yeah.
Reclaiming those memories. And I think the use of the term Ngusa Saba is also a reclaiming too of identity.
Yes.
Yes. Ashe. Good job. Great discussion. Anyone else? Questions, comments? Has this resonated with you? Do you feel the vibe?
Yes,
Ashe.
I am vibing.
Hey.
I am.
Very much so. Ashe.
It's like that tuning fork.
Yes, yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes.
I have something to say. Today is Ujamaa, Cooperative Economics. And if we think about currency beyond the fiat currency, but this energy that we're resonating in right now, being intentional about where we're going to place it, affirming that I think is essential.
Can you say more?
In terms of where we're going to be focusing our thoughts, this resonance, not going back and returning to the old ways of interpreting, like how we're saying even Akabulan. Seeing ourselves fully in this role as the co-creator of this experience, and just accepting that. I like what Ms. Barber said, it's not an intellectual thing. It really is a resonance. We have a language through things like the Nguzo Saba, but in terms of the collective energy and focus that we have, in these sessions, in other spaces where we're around other folks who are as visionary, being intentional in those spaces, I think is essential.
I agree with you. We are intentional in our teachings because our desire is to put it in the macro so that we will experience the manifestation of righteousness and peace in the earth. And actually, we're not co-creators. We found out that Christianity told us that we were co-creators. We are not. We are creators.
Yes.
We cannot be Elohim, and we cannot be the image of Elohim without being Elohim. And we are definitely creators.
Mm.
If you notice, 99% of the time when I use the word creator, I say things like the one who created everything that is. That is the spiritual entity that brought all of this into existence. But the creator of all things that are, what were we told before? Right after we became physical beings. Dominate. Dominate the earth is what we were charged to do. And that domination is not a vile type of domination. That domination is a type of domination that not asks for, but demands the presence of righteousness to exist in the environment, even if there are men who don't allow it to exist within them. But our environment that we live in is now chaotic, and that's what we experience every single day. Our desire is to experience righteousness every single day. And righteousness is not what the church told us it is. It's not perfection. It's a desire for those who we created to live with the mindset that we were brought into this earth with. And that is the mindset of Alkebalon, the garden of life, the tree of life. I'm done. But thank you, Regina. I'm done, Ron.
Yes, sir. I know. Good discussion. Great discussion.
Ron, this is Angela. I got a question.
Okay.
Is the 7 candles for Kwanzaa, that's just same as we offer honor to the ancestors, burning the 7 candles?
I think it's all connected, Angela, but I like someone else to answer that who's probably more knowledgeable about it than I am. Please.
Catherine is a deep dive into the candles. So I don't know if she want to talk about that or not, or give an overview, but you can Google the order in which the candles are to be placed in and lit. Well, Kathy, you want to give some insight into that?
I just looked at just something that I was looking at when you order, and each day you are, and I don't have it in front of me now, Pastor, unfortunately. I don't know what I looked at, and I cannot remember everything that it said. But and I think Regina talks about her family actually doing this, because I did not grow up doing this, and she may be the better person to ask at this point. I'm not sure. But I know each day there was a specific order that you started with the black candle and what it stood for. And I'm looking while I'm talking to you because I did not know you were going to ask me this question. So let me go back, see if I see it real fast. And if you want to be speaking to that, Regina, while I'm looking for it.
I can definitely give the ritual practice.
Okay.
So the first candle is, of course, the first day of Kwanzaa, Umoja Unity, and it's black. And then you alternate from the left side, which is the red candle, to the right side, the green candle, with each day. And so each day you add a lighting of a different candle until you get all 7 lit.
The colors.
Yeah.
The significance.
Yes, sir.
Red, black, and green. Yeah, red, black, and
Yes.
green.
Yeah.
I'll add a picture to the chat for people who can see the chat.
Yeah, the black candle is in the middle. And then you alternate the colors to each side.
Okay.
I did remember that in my reading as well. And I am not finding that article anywhere, so I apologize for not being prepared to speak to that at all. I just found it for myself and read through it and asked you a question about it, Pastor. And then I thought I put it in the basket where I was ordering the menorah and the actual candles from. I know I put it there, but I don't see it right now.
And I think the black candle is subsequently then used to light every other candle as the week progresses.
Mm.
And I want to ask, go ahead, Barbara, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, I was just going to say it's lit first, and then when you celebrate the next day, then the black candle is used to light the candle for that day as well. It's like the source of
And
light.
if I'm remembering correctly too, and correct me, Regina, Pastor, or someone, Barbara, was the black candle did you actually start with Imani? For some reason, I'm thinking that's what I read. And each candle is one of the 7 principles that you talked about yesterday, but you're lighting them in a specific order, like everyone has alluded to. You're using that candle to go left one day, right the next day. But each candle represented one of the principles that we talked about yesterday.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Kathy,
You're
can you
using
hear
that
me?
black candle to light each principle, but you're going in the order of the 7 days. Yes, ma'am. And you only add a candle per day until you get to the
Yeah.
7th day, then you're lighting them all.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone.
Do
Can
they
you hear
stay
me,
lit?
Kathy?
Go
Yeah,
ahead. I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
I'm finished.
No, Janice, well, we put them out after we do our, after we have our moment, we put them out.
Okay, I was wondering about that. Thank you.
That's not mandatory either, because I know that we left ours. We had slow burning candles, and by the time we entered the 7 days, they were very short. But we let them
Oh,
burn.
wow. Okay.
George, you were trying to say something?
Yes, I was going to say that the first day of Kwanzaa, we celebrate Umoja. And Umoja, basically talks about to strive for and maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. That's the first black candle, which is lit. And it's basically that affirmation. On day 2, we have Kuji Chakalia, which is basically to define ourselves, to name ourselves, to create for ourselves, and to speak for ourselves. And so this was basically the same day where you would light the red candle on the left. The third day, which is collective work and responsibility, that's Ujima. And that is to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and to solve them together, which is what we do. I mean, and that's the blessing. And today is Ujama. I think someone mentioned it earlier, but that is to hold and maintain our own stores, our shops, and other businesses, and to, and again, I apologize, and to profit from them together. And the 5th day, which is tomorrow, which is Nia, and it talks about to make our collective vocation the building and development of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. And number 6 is Kuamba, and that's to do always as much as we can in the way we can in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited. And then the last day is, of course, is Imani, which is to believe with all of our heart in our people, our parents and teachers and leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. I mean, I do have this, and again, Pastor, whatever, I don't know sending it out, but I just wanted to share those 7 principles, and each one, as was mentioned earlier, starts with the black, the red on the left, the red on the right, then you have the green, but it is rotations, but I think someone mentioned it earlier. I just wanted to share those thoughts. I'm done.
Thank you.
Thank you, George.
Unless there's any questions. Yeah.
Well, I think this is like everything else we do. It is not never complete. We're never through talking about it. So, you guys see something or write down a question or whatever, and we'll certainly come back to it.
I just read something that says it's not directly related to ancestors, but it is inclusive of it because of all the principles.
Right. Excuse me.
Audrey, were you speaking about a specific principle or Kwanzaa in general?
Sorry, say again?
I was asking about the statement you just made. Was that in reference to a specific principle, or were you just talking about Kwanzaa overall?
No, somebody was asking about lighting the candles in honor of the ancestors. And I just read something that said it's not specifically related to ancestors, but all the principles include honoring the ancestors.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
I think that was Angela. Angela, does that answer your question?
Oh, yes, it does. Thank you.
No, thank you. Appreciate the question. Well, check back out about 7:40. So you guys want to kind of rest it right here and let's resume Saturday. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys. Great energy this evening. Great energy. I hope you have a great rest of your week and look forward to Saturday morning.
Hey, Ron.
To everyone.
Thank you, Ron.
Yes, sir.
I know you're going to have
Thank
a great week.
Huh?
I know everybody.
Thank
No filters, honest conversation. Go, Miss Emma.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you.